Well, hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If it's your first time here, I'm Travis and I live in Louisville, Kentucky. Live and garden in Louisville, Kentucky, zone 7B, 7A or 7B. It kind of fluctuates. But anyway, we have been here, this is our 6th growing season, and this is going to be the garden tour for the 3rd week of July. And everything is looking pretty good. The Limelight hydrangeas, probably the best they've ever looked. I did let them get a little tall this year. They should have been cut back this spring, but I never got around to it and they started to bud up, so I just couldn't cut the blooms off. But once they start fading, I'll cut them back pretty good. So, anyway, mid-July, the landscape's looking pretty good. Everything's starting to fill in. The annuals are starting to get bigger and pop. The annuals that I use every year, I've done the same pattern, are the French marigolds. These are Fireball. That's what the name on the tag was at the garden center I got them from. So I do marigolds, and I really love the red-orange ones. Somehow or another I got a yellow one in there. Don't know how that happened. I think it was just mislabeled or something, but it happens. And the other annual here I use is the blue Victoria Salvia, and it is a must-have annual for me. I'm trying to think. That's all the annuals that I have in the front landscape here. And then on the very border are the perennials. This is purple aster, and this is an autumn blooming plant, or a little bit later in the summer. It's supposed to be blooming, but it is starting early this year. I know a lot of garden tours that I've been watching, a lot of people's later blooming perennials are starting to bloom early this year. Not sure what that means, but pollinators absolutely love the salvia. And I love that blue with the lamb's ear. Another one of my favorite perennials here. I love that silver foliage, and there's a few different varieties of lamb's ear. There's one called big ears, and I have that as well. But for some reason I love this old-fashioned variety better. I think it has more texture, and it's definitely got more silver to it. And also that I cut back, and it's actually reblooming in the border here, is the catmint nepeta. And then in the center is supposed to be a drift of Russian sage. Now I lost 3 plants, I think, of the Russian sage, and I'm still looking everywhere for it. For some reason, I don't know why I can't find it. Now that we're getting later in the summer, I might be able to find it at Home Depot or Lowe's. I'm probably going to go there tomorrow. But as you can see, the Russian sage, it's time to shine. And I had like a couple there, I think, and a couple here. And once it gets big and taller like this variety here, I think it'll be a nice drift of that blue in there. And then I've got a couple, or I did have a couple, I'm down to 1, I think, of the Autumn Joy Sedum up here. And then as far as shrubs are the spireas, that nice chartreuse color, and the burgundy foliage, or the burgundy shrub, is the barberry shrub. And then a knockout, just the classic pinkish red, whatever it is, knockout rose. And this one here is a yellow sunny rose, which is probably my favorite of all of them because it's fragrant, very fragrant. And then of course the limelights. And the only thing that was here in this whole landscape, front yard, everything, the previous owners did plant that crepe myrtle. So other than that, this is the work of 6 years. And I think it's looking pretty good. Get a little bit of closer look at the annuals. And right here is a like a bronze color dahlia. I had 2 pots in the ground here, and each one had 2 tubers. So I have the worst luck with dahlias sometimes. So and they usually don't like this spot. But now I'm down to 1. So it is what it is. The containers up here, you guys might notice a new face in the door there. We have decided to take in Milo. This is my mama's dog. I think he's a pit mix. I'm not real sure 100% on that. I'll have to ask her again, but he is such a good dog, sweet dog. And he is loving it here. He didn't know how to act with running around the backyard. He was doing figure 8s around the landscape, or the flower bed back there. In the containers here, they're looking a little, I don't know, iffy, but this one looks a little better. These are the Dreamsicle Super Bells with the blue salvia. And then coleus back here. It's kind of iffy on the heat that we've been getting lately, so I did cut back some of the limelights. You guys, these were so huge. You can see where I cut them back, but I mean, they were getting in the way of the door and everything. So anyway, these were shaded a little bit more than they are now, so I might have to move those into a not so sunny situation. Just incredible, these limelight hydrangeas. And this is what I am starting over on the berm in between our yard and my neighbor's yard. So I've got 6 of them over there, and I'll show you guys those in a minute. Circle garden here. The Zinderella zinnias, I think that's what these are called, are looking fantastic. I'll definitely get more of those next year. I think I only got 1 pack, and I kind of divided them around this bed here. Circle garden is what I call it. But again, I'm repeating that orangey color. Now these are more peach, I think, which is, I really like that color on them. So anyway, I think I'm going to do that again next year, but just have more. Again, all the way around this flower bed is the Victoria salvia, and then the inside ring here is the Russian sage. So lots of blue. Now this flower bed here is a work in progress still. As you can see, there's some weeds going on. But these daylilies here, and I mentioned this in the last video, but they've been blooming non-stop since May, I believe. I wish I could remember the variety, but I really like that color. And they are still blooming. It's almost late July. I need to get in here and cut the bananas and cream. Yeah, it's a Shasta daisy. So here are the these three are new limelights. So they're doing pretty good. I was worried about this might be too much shade for them, but they're still blooming. And I think this is going to look fantastic in the future. Stepping over what once was a crazy line of trees and privet hedge. And for those of you that are new here, this used to be a solid wall all the way up to the trees. You guys that have been watching me for a while, I know I sound like a broken record, but I just want to say that for the new viewers that might not know, but this used to be a solid wall here. And one day I had enough of it, and I just come out here. I think it took me 2 or 3 days, and I just got it all down with a pair of loppers and a handsaw. So it looks much better, I think. Still have to get in here and kind of maintain and trim back what is still in there. But yeah, these are the limelight hedge that I started. And what I was going over here for was to show you, give you an idea of what it's going to look like when I have this whole hedge, this whole line through there will be the limelights. So I think that'll look pretty good. It'll be also something for the neighbors to kind of enjoy too. Oh, this right here. This is one of my favorite spots when you're walking by. Just you kind of get to see everything. Now these here are not blooming. These are Annabelle hydrangeas, and they've been here for probably a good 4 or 5 years now, and they have never bloomed, not one time. So I don't know if they're getting too much shade or what's going on, but anyway, I think last year I cut them back. But they are so mature now, it's going to be hard to dig them up to try to move them. But if nothing else, they make or create a nice dark green backdrop. Now the hostas, I don't know, I might move those maybe more out towards that way, or might just move them to the back, because these daylilies are taller than that, and I kind of like taller things in the back and shorter things up front. You know how that goes. This Miss Molly butterfly bush, need to get in here and cut back the dead blooms off of it, but I'm liking that color. Also in here, struggling a little bit, is the white. Now this is the funniest thing. I know I planted orange. Yes, they were orange coneflowers in here. Never planted white, but now the only ones that have come back, and they're white. So anyway, I don't know how that happens, but and this is some phlox that's barely making it. I think I planted that last year or the year before, And I thought I'd lost it, but it's still there. Oh, and then I had a couple volunteers. I think this grass was over in the border over there somewhere. So it had to come out of there, and I just stuck a couple, one there and one right here. Now all of this up here needs to be remulched. So like I said, gardener on a budget. I just kind of do what I can do piece by piece. But yeah, friends, this is what the garden up front looks like in mid to late July. Now I'm going to break these garden tours up like I did last time. So I will probably put or make the backyard tour a separate video. Again, more lamb's ear. Loving the spot here. And then this is Gaura, a little drift of Gaura. Just beginning to bloom. There's that barberry bush. I really love the dark foliage in a landscape too, as well as the chartreuse color. It's almost like a highlight. These are the highlight, and that's a low light, and I really enjoy that. So yeah, friends, I thank you so much for watching this video. Probably going to give those limelights a couple more weeks, and then I will cut them back. So if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to follow along my garden journey here, please consider subscribing. I'd really appreciate that. So you guys have a wonderful weekend. I hope you are having a great summer. And stay tuned for all of my Halloween friends on here. That's part of the channel. So I got some videos and stuff coming up soon on that content. And guys, it's almost August, so the 1st of August is when I start decorating the inside of the house for Halloween. So anyway, if you're interested in that, please hit that subscribe button and follow along. Would love to have you part of my YouTube family. So anyway, friends, you take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, friends.